So this is going to be the hardest tier list I think that I have ever done. And I know what you're thinking. Red, this is the only tier list you've ever done. That is where you're correct. Actually, you're wrong. You're wrong on that part. This is the first tier list I've ever done on the channel. I have done a tier list and I do it actively. It's called my anime list. I do that one as I watch shows, and we'll go through that one too. But this one I wanted to do, this is not all the artists that I listen to, but the last year, so 2024, these were my top artists. I am a metalhead through and through. I have been since I was a kid, and nobody will ever change my mind on that. You do not get the message and the lyrics that you do through metal. Uh, I cannot stand pandering country, so don't even think for a second because I live in Oklahoma that I listen to that garbage. But anyway, this is the bands that I've listened to the most according to Apple the last year. All these bands will easily be S tier. This is how it is. But for this tier list, I thought it would be kind of fun to take them out of the S tier and compare them to themselves. So again, all of these bands right here, S tier. That's how it is. That is my opinion, of course. This is my list. But for this one, I cannot just do that. I'm going to take all my S tiers and break them down into different, find out who is the baddest of them all, I guess. I don't know. So, the first one, the day to remember, I'm just going to go ahead and put that in B. They're good. Don't get me wrong. My wife loves them, but I like them too. They are great. They have a few songs that are really good. Paranoia is really good. I have me personally, I have extreme paranoia, which leads to extreme anxiety and depression. So that song's really good. Maybe you're the hammer. Sometimes you're the hammer. Sometimes you're the, I don't know. That other song is something like that. Sometimes you're the hammer. Sometimes you're the nail or something. That song is really good too. They have some good songs, but for the sake of this, they're going to be a B tier because not all their songs are great to me, but a lot of them are. And they have really good replay value. August Burns Red. This is my favorite band in the world at the moment. I kind of teeter between three of them, but this one at the moment is my favorite band. You do not get better than August Burns Red. You can listen to every single one of their songs. They all have very powerful messages. Defender, for example, do not give up. No matter how hard it is, don't give up. I love this band. This band is freaking peak. You cannot do better than that. Jake Lors, the frontman, he has a foundation. I want to say it's called like the Heart Foundation or something along those lines. You could just Google Jake Lors Foundation and it'll come up. It's like Heart something. Geez, I'm gonna have to Google it myself. Heart Support Foundation. That is what it is. So is that's his foundation, and it's a nonprofit in support of mental health. So you can watch a lot of videos that he has on YouTube and stuff. He goes over and he's done some interviews with different podcasts. He comes from a very broken childhood, and he noticed that during concerts, people after the concerts would come up to him because he likes to go out and meet the fans, obviously, and they would always talk to him about struggles that they're going through, and that his music saved him and blah 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 blah. And he found that he was spending a lot of time. He was spending hours after shows, and he enjoyed it talking to fans about the stuff. And he thought, okay, here's something I can do for this community. It's a community for metalheads to talk to people about their mental health. And the way it works, and it's free. So the way it works is they do have licensed psychologists and mental people there that will talk to you, but they also, it's a really cool concept. They have people that's gone through the program and they have a pass, but they are also, it's kind of like a big brother thing where they will have weekly calls with you and you can talk to them, and it's a year-long program. um I think so. If I would love to donate to that, if I ever had, you know, more to give. But it's also one that I thought about doing myself because, like I said, I do suffer from uh, paranoia, and it leads to extreme anxiety and depression. And I have tried therapy twice, and it failed horribly both times. So I take medication, but I basically suffer alone. My wife is my biggest supporter, and she is awesome. But she's also told me, hey, maybe you should give that a shot. So August Burns Red, not just because of that, but their music is phenomenal. Um, Hands down, the best musicians in the bunch, from the drums to the guitar to the singing to the message to the lyrics. It's all there. Matt Greener is the best drummer in the world. He is phenomenal. Here's going to be a this one might be a little controversial. As I Lay Dying, A tier. Like I said, all these bands are S tiers to me, but if I'm putting them against each other, As I Lay Dying is definitely A tier. I know that Tim LaBiasis did some horrendous shit back in like 2000 freaking 6, 2000 something, and then he went to prison for a long time. He came back, and the group got back together for a while, and then one by one the band kind of split off because they just couldn't get past what Tim did. And I am not advocating for Tim. He is what he did, and it is not a maybe he did, maybe he didn't. It is he did this, is the deplorable shit. But I have watched a lot of podcasts where he has talked about this, and never once has he done like a woe is me. Everybody should just forgive me. He says no. What I did is absolutely horrible, and the only way I'm going to have any kind of redemption going forward is for people to just to see what I do now and see in 20 years where I'm at. I thought that was pretty powerful because who hasn't messed up? I mean, not the level of Tim, but who hasn't done something stupid? It's all about how you grow from it. But beyond that, the reason why I'm saying A tier is partly because of Tim, but this band itself is the band that got me into metal. It solidified metal to me. This was my gateway drug. Back whenever I was but a wee little lad, I think I was like 15, is whenever Shadow Security came out. And that's when Through Struggle came out. And I saw the music video like at a friend's house. We were just watching music videos, and Through Struggle came on. And I was like, that was awesome. I need more of that. And so As I Lay Dying was my gateway drug. I bought that album and then I just never looked back. It is they are such the like I said, you do not get better lyrics than you do from metal. I mean, full hands down. And a lot of these bands that I have here are Christian based metal. August Burns Red, As I Lay Dying used to be. Uh, Phineas, Fit for a King, stuff like that. They're kind of they're rooted in Christianity, but even the ones that aren't, they still have really good, powerful messages in their lyrics. Um, but yeah, As I Lay Dying, even now, their newest album it's still it slaps. It is they got some bangers on every single level. Um, August Burns Red is replayable on every song. I have not found a song that I did not like, and I've listened to all of them. As I Lay Dying is almost there. They have a few that I'm like, eh. So that's gonna drop them down from a S tier. All That Remains, I'm gonna kind of put in the B. Uh, they're good. They were whenever I got into metal, they were already there. Uh, and they're good. I'm not knocking them at all. Like I said, these are my top bands anyway. But as far as like the top against the top, they're mid. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put A Day to Remember in C. I think All That Remains is better than A Day to Remember. I don't like their new stuff. Their new, I don't. It's their earlier stuff that's prime to me. Their new stuff, I'm not a fan. So eh, that's kind of where they lay. Attack Attack is the opposite. I'm putting them in C because their old stuff was good. Their new stuff, I don't even think I've listened to. I might have listened to one song of their new stuff, and it's just I didn't like it. It didn't. I didn't care for it. So they're going to stay in C because there is not a the songs I like from them. I listen to all the time, and there's a pile of them. But there's so many. It's not even half of the songs that they have out. So that's why they're a C tier as far as the best of the best. I don't have much to say about them. Crabcore was invented by them. Um, and my one black friend, my best friend in the world, they have a song called "Sexual Man Chocolate," and that has been his name in my phone for the last I don't know 20 years. I mean, that's all I got to say about Attack Attack. This one, easy A tier. This is Austrian Death Machine. This is Tim Labias's of As I Lay Dying's. It's a side project. It started as a gag, and I watched a podcast where Tim was talking about it. Whenever I think it was this one that came out, the quad whatever, and he was saying that he was talking about it, and they were asking him like, why? Like, are you a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan? He's like, yes and no, but he's like, it started as a gag because he had a buddy that could do like a perfect Arnold voice, and then they just took that and then made songs about Arnold Schwarzenegger being this giant hero, and it just turned into this. And they have like I think there's like 6 albums, and they're all. It started as this troll on Arnold, and it turned into like this cult following. I remember the first song I heard from them was "Get to the Chopper," and it is exactly what it is. You know, get to the chopper, and then they made a whole song about that. They have one that's called "Destroy the Machines," and it's about Terminator. It's so good, so good. Austrian Death Machine. Um, yeah, that's a great one. His wife now actually is in the newest album. She is a backup scream, vocalist along with Tim. She's got a really good scream too. It's great. Fit for a Keen. Man, it's so hard to put these things in non S tiers. Another A tier. Fit for a Keen is jeez. Okay, I gotta move these down. Like I said, this is a rough one. Fit for a Keen, I put in B. They're great. I don't think I've found many songs I don't jive with them. They're a true Christian level band, just like August Burns Red. They have some really good ones. They're not, and this is what I like about them and August Burns Red and a couple other ones. They're not like straightforward with the lyrics about Christianity. Whoa, look at that. We just skipped ahead like 3 freaking bands. Sorry about that. My mic died and I didn't realize it for like, I don't know, 5 minutes. So let me do like a little bit of a recap on where we were at. I think whenever my mic went dead was I was talking about Fit for a King. And then I'm not sure where I was next, but I know that Austrian Death Machine was not up here. Austrian Death Machine is Tim LaBias's baby. It's a side project. Freaking phenomenal. So it started out as a gag because he had a buddy who could speak Arnold Schwarzenegger perfectly. And they just kind of took that and then made music with it. They're up to like 5 or 6 albums now. And I think this is the newest one, the Quadruple, whatever. His wife now is actually the backup screamer in the band, and she's really good at it. But yeah, I was listening to a podcast that had Tim on it, and he was talking about how it started out as a gag with. I think the first song that I heard from him was "Get to the Chopper," and he make fun of "Get to the Chopper," and then they made a whole freaking song about it and a whole album, and then it just kind of took off from there. This one, this album has, I think it's got "Destroy the Machines," which is a Terminal or Terminator reference. It's great stuff. Check them out. Uh, After that, I believe I went to Killswitch. So Killswitch is an S tier all day long. As I Lay Dying was my gateway drug. Killswitch was my heroin. So Killswitch, I got into them whenever My Last Serenade came out, and it was about the same time that Through Struggle came out. At least that I think. Um, that was whenever Jesse Leach was still in the band the first time. Then he left. Howard came in. Howard is awesome. I mean that blew the band up to no end. Whenever End of Heartbreak came out, and then As Daylight Dies after that. And that's actually whenever I saw them in concert was whenever they were debuting As Daylight Dies. I remember I got that album, that CD for the young folk here. We used to listen to them on discs. But that's whenever I got that was the same day that their concert here in Oklahoma was, and I went there, and that was awesome. Jesse Leach came back later on. This band and August Burns Red are I believe, the only two on this list. I think the only two that I can say for certain are the original founding members, except for Jake Lors. So they had August Burns Red had a singer before Jake Lors, and he lasted one album. I think it was Thrill Seeker, and then he didn't want to tour, so he left, and Jake Lors came in and has been there since. So I count him as a founding member because even Jake said this, and the other members, 12, Matt and them, they said that whenever they went on tour for the first time with Jake, nobody knew that Jake wasn't the original vocalist on Thrill Seeker because they had never seen the dude. So I thought that was kind of neat. So yeah, these bands really stick together. They make incredible music. But yeah, Killswitch, S tier all day long. Who do we have next? Who is this? I don't know this. Who are you? What is this? I can't see it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to circle back on that one because I can't tell who that is now, even though I made this. Isn't that funny? I made it. I have no idea what it was. What is what? So anyway, let's go with Oh Sleeper. Oh Sleeper. I'm gonna put them in as a B tier. They're good. They're very good. Don't get me wrong. They are fantastic. Um, I came in whenever their second album came out. So their first album, I didn't really listen to. I didn't really get into, I guess. Their second album was Tip Top, and then from there, Oxygen was good. Um, I think Children of Fire was probably my favorite album from them. Christian band, they are awesome. Hush IL, that was a good song. Don't really have anything else to say about them. They're good. I like them. Parkway Drive, C tier. I'm gonna put them right there with their Australian buddies in Heart's Wake. Parkway Drive. Actually, I'm gonna drop them down to D tier. They have a few songs that I really, really like. The songs I like I said, are replayable. I listen to them all the time, but I haven't really delved into the weeds of all their stuff, so I can't say for sure that all their stuff is banging, but I do know the ones I do like, and they're really good. Uh, that's about it. Phineas, you're gonna go right up here in A tier. Phineas is one of those bands that I started listening to about 3 years ago. They popped up on my recommendations whenever I started listening to Fit for a King. Phineas is one that is fan freaking tastic. I have not heard a single song from there that I did not like. Um, there's a few of them that are a little bit hard for replay value, but for the most part, this seems like it's quite super loud, huh? For the most part, their stuff is really good. I really like Phineas. Um, there's actually like a short on I think Facebook where people like meme the crap out of their song. Which one was it? I can't remember what song it was, but they meme the crap out of it. But they're really good. This one D tier. That's Poppy. Another one of my recommendations from Spirit Box. Uh, she's got some really strange songs, really weird off the wall, but her metal is pretty good. Her metal is pretty freaking fantastic. Her screens are really good too. Uh, everybody knows who that is anyway. Poppy. I mean, she was on the the Daily Show, the late night show or whatever that was. Anyway, here's a guilty pleasure. Sim. Uh, D tier. So there's only like 3 songs that I like from Sim. Sim is a Japanese based metal band. They do they have some uh anime songs. Their most popular is The Rumbling from Attack on Titan. And then they have a closing song on it's one I think it's the second closing on Baki Hanama, which is a bananas of a show. That show is goof troop level anime. Baki is an MMA that is just so goofy. But I digress. Sim's good. D tier because there's only like 2 or 3 songs that I like from them, and it's mostly just because of the anime. And but but they're great. I still want to know what that first one is. I cannot read it. If I get through the rest of them, will I know what that one is? Spirit Box, A tier. I found Spirit Box in 2020. Whenever I think the first time I heard from them was Blessed Be. Courtney is fantastic. She has one of the best voices as far as female medalists that I think. Her cleans and her screams are both just freaking amazing. The band's really good. They got a lot of bangers. I love all the ones I like are just so good. Um, can't say much else than that. Let's see, who's this? This is Devil Wears Prada. That's going to be a B or C tier. I'm going to put Devil Wears Prada in the C tier. So Devil Wears Prada is great when they're great and not when they're not, my opinion. They have really good songs, really good vocals, really good messages, but there's a lot of their songs that just I don't really care for. Their new stuff is pretty good actually too. I like their new stuff. Trey Watson, B tier. Nobody knows this dude. Nobody knows this dude. This dude. So this guy, he does English dub covers of anime uh, music, and they are freaking amazing. So the one that got me hooked on him was he did a dub of uh oh geez, what is it called? Um Vinland Saga's opening, their first season, first opening. Um Survive said the prophet Mashiaku. Uh he did an English dub of that, and that's how I found him. And it is the best song, the best anime out there. Trey Watson's good. He's got a lot of them. I have quite a few of his on my Amazon and or on my Amazon. Uh, really good artist. I'm not sure because I've never looked at the deep dive on him, but I'm pretty sure he's one that does all the instruments himself. And there might be one or two people, but I'm pretty sure it's just him. At least in the videos I've seen of some of the music he's done, it's always been him on all the other instruments except for the drums. So I'm not sure if he does the drums or not. If he does, then that I mean, talented dude, beautiful voice, uh, great guy. I cannot Wolves at the Gate. I'm gonna go A tier. I was thinking about putting Wolves at the Gate at like a B or C tier, but here recently, I really started to listen to a lot more of their songs, and I gotta say, their songs are freaking awesome. Another Christian-based metal band, um, Gravedigger, spoke to me really good. So Gravedigger was really good. Um, oh gee, Lowborn. Lowborn is probably my favorite song from them right now. Lowborn is phenomenal. But Wolves at the Gate, they're really good. I like them. This is Survive Said the Prophet. C tier. Survive Said the Prophet is another Japanese metal band. Mikiyaku or whatever it is, the song that they have for season one, opening one of Vinland Saga. Um, that is the best song I have ever heard for an anime, but also just in general, the meaning behind that song solidifies them on this list. Full stop. They have a couple other songs too, but it's hard to really get into it unless you're okay with sub. I still cannot figure out what that is. What is that? What are you? That's gonna drive me nuts. What have I not talked about? Um, that's what it is. Make them suffer. Uh, A tier. A tier. Well, next month I'll have them in an A tier. Right now I'm going to put them in B tier, just because this is the newest band that I've discovered. I actually discovered them like a month ago. Um, and I think, yep, that's why. So Courtney Lapointe, I don't know if I'm saying her last name right, from Spirit Box. She has this podcast or started a podcast, whatever. She had the female vocalist from Make Them Suffer on her podcast. I didn't listen to the podcast, but like maybe 5 minutes. Whenever they talk about Make Them Suffer, I was like, let me go look it up, and I not look back. That band is amazing. There is nothing bad I can say about that band. The only reason it's a B tier and not a A or maybe an S is strictly because I'm very new to them. So I've only listened to just a handful of their songs, but every single one of them that I have listened to are phenomenal. They have rolled over the female vocalist, I think 3 or 4 times since the origin of the band. The one that they have currently, I really like. Um, and every single one of them has also been the synth. So it's a really cool band. Go check them out. But anyway, this is, in my opinion, my tier list of my top bands of the last year and where I would put them if they weren't all on the S tiers already. Like I said, every single one of these bands in my playbook are all S tier, but if I'm pitting them against each other to find the very best, this is I'm happy with this list. This is where I'd put them. Those two, I don't think these two will ever be toppled. KSC was my number one band for decades. I'm freaking old. August Burns Red was always there, but over the last like 6 years, they have toppled KFC for that top tier. But Killswitch is still right there. I will say this though, Killswitch's new album that they just dropped, not a fan. I don't know what it is. I have only listened to 2 of their songs on there, so I might be judging them a little bit prematurely. But what I've heard, they've really pumped the brakes hard on the heaviness, and it kind of breaks my heart a little bit. But yeah, that's it. That is the tier list for this one.